Amazing, amazing, amazing to have you all here. Welcome to our Focus and Fly. It's the first Focus and Fly of the year. I always love Focus and Fly because what happens is normally we have jump in January, and we jump, we make a decision, we say we're going to do this. And then by the time the end of January comes, by the beginning of February, second week of February, we done dropped off, or the, or the vision board, or the vision, all the things that you said you were going to do could slip away. And so it's so important to make sure that we remain focused in this season, that we remember the words that we've said, and we stick to it. And so Focus and Fly comes at a great time straight after Jump in January. And I'm so fired up because one of the things you guys know, that I have made a decision that I will continue, on my fitness journey. After the accident, I was away for netball for two months, just under 3 months, actually. I went back a couple of weeks ago. Today was the third week back. I'm feeling really good, feeling energetic, getting back to, my physical self. And I'm pleased that I've had the old Empowered as well, helping me to stay focused and keep my energy up. I actually played a different position today. So I shot, scored 2 goals, and then I assisted 4. So I'm really proud of that. Played a different position and assisted 4 of those, defended a couple as well. So I did a little bit more running today, and I'm feeling good. And this is the thing about stretching yourself, because what I love about my team, and I know I've spoken about my team to some of you before, is we had a situation where I instantly, went to my comfort zone. And that is, of course, like goal attack or goal shooter. And since coming back to netball in the last 3 months, I went to goal shooter, just to give myself the 1/3, game, not to push myself too much. And so last 2 weeks, goal attack, goal shooter, alternate, did half a game the first week back, did 3/4 the second week back. I did all 4 today. But when it came to halftime, the coach was like, "Nikki, you're going to stay in that position?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll stay." She was like, "Nikki, are you going to stay in that position?" And it was one of them questions. Have you guys ever had a coach that's asking you a question, but they're not asking you, they're kind of telling you? And it was one of those things where the girls were looking at me like, "No, what's she saying, Nikki? You ain't staying in that position. You're going to do some running today." And that just, that hit me. And I did. And, the thing is about it, I would have been happy staying in my comfort zone. I would have been happy, staying in the same position that I knew that made me feel comfortable. I love shooting. I like to, be in the, that end of the court. But I trusted my coach, and I listened to the coach, and I was better off for it. I don't know, has that ever happened to you before, where you've been pushed a little bit out of your comfort zone, and, it just simply, you're grateful for it after. Maybe at the time you're not grateful for it because you want to do what you want to do. But at the end of it, I look back and I was like, that was a pretty good game. I actually assisted 4. I did really good. I even did 1/4, guys, in defense. And you guys know defense is not, my preferred position. But now I know that I'm an all-rounder. Now I know that I can play anywhere. Now I know that, I'm strengthening in all areas. And this is one thing I want to talk to us about today. When it comes to the comfort zone. And we've heard that the comfort zone is the broke zone. And those of you that are taking notes, I definitely want you to take notes on today's call, because I was going to talk about distractions, but I really think it's about comfort zone. And, one of the things about the comfort zone is that it's a familiarity type thing. It's you are in a place where you're familiar. You're in a place where you know exactly what to expect. You know exactly what's happening. You know exactly how you're going to feel. You can predict exactly the next move. You can predict how you're going to react, because that's what your comfort zone is. How many of you know that you have a comfort zone? Okay, your comfort zone could be found in your daily routine. You get up every day at a certain time. Maybe you get up at 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. And you've been doing that now for the last 2, 3, 4, 10, 20 years. That has become now your comfort zone. And so everyone has parts of their daily operating rhythm, the daily methods of operation that have become part of their comfort zone. Now, I've been studying a long time about this, guys, and I thought that I'd broken out of a lot of my comfort zones until the coach said to me today, Nikki, you're going to play that position. And it was a question, but it wasn't a question. You guys know what I'm talking about? It was a challenge. It was almost like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? Yeah, you came. Don't use that as an excuse. You're new. Because I felt like I was new again. Don't use it as an excuse. You just come in 3 weeks now. This is your 3rd week back. No, I'm not using it as an excuse. I'm going to push you. I'm going to get you where you need to go. And you see, the thing is, when you're used to being the one that tells everybody what to do, when you're used to being the one that just does things in your comfort zone, when you want it, how you want it, for 3 seconds, I stood there like, is she really giving me this position? Is she really like, and I was like, Nikki, be coachable and teachable. follow the process, follow the protocol. How many times have things come to you in life where you've been put under, it's been stuck on you. You've been put in a position where you ain't naturally comfortable. It's not your comfort zone. You've been put in a position where you're like, whoa, I don't know how I would really feel about this. Whoa, I'm not really sure that this is where I want to go. Whoa, it could be the best for me. It could be the right thing, but I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm comfortable. Now, here's the thing. I could have said to the coach, no, I ain't doing it. What would I have done? I could have delayed my growth. I could have actually delayed the skill set that I had on the inside of me that I didn't even know I had. Because when you stay in your comfort zone, what you actually do is you block the potential of what is actually next for you. You block the growth. You block the ability to get to the next level, because what you're doing is you're holding on to the existing level. And I think it hit me today, because after 3 seconds, I was like, yeah, cool, let's do it. And I did it. Because one of the things I hate is to be scared of something. I don't want to live in fear. I don't live in fear. I'm going to do what needs to be done, despite whether it's something that I feel like, I'm comfortable with or not. And it got me thinking, you guys know that, Nehemiah is one of my favorite books. And it got me thinking about the comfort zone and how, Nehemiah would have felt during a time where he was comfortable. And for those of you that don't really know that story, Nehemiah was living in a very comfortable position. He was chilling with the king in the palace, eating good food, having good parties, in the luxury. But there was something uncomfortable going on outside that he felt like he had to, go and, I don't know, be of assistance. He had a goal to rebuild the wall. How many of you have a goal? How many of you have a goal right now for this year? Who has a goal? The desire of your heart. What is the desire of your heart? If you have a goal, put a 7 inside the chat box for me. And so Nehemiah had a goal. He had something that was a desire of his heart, but it took him to come out of his comfort zone. It took him to make a decision to do something out of the ordinary that not necessarily he had been exposed to before. Now, if you have a vision that is bigger than where you currently are right now, say me in the chat, because I think there's sometimes we can have a vision and we think, oh my gosh, like this is huge. How am I going to get there? What is it really possible? Is it something that I can actually do? Is it something that I can actually do? And Nehemiah had this vision that he was going to rebuild the walls. And we've spoken about how long the wall is and how almost impossible people felt like. I think it was 56 days he actually rebuilt the wall in, which was an impossible, type thing. But a lot of the time, the vision and the mission that God will give you will be bigger than you. Let me just break that down for you. A lot of the time, the vision and the mission that God has for your life is going to be bigger than you. You know why? Because he wants you to lean on him and not on your own understanding. If we lean on our own understanding, we lean on fear, doubt, worry, thinking about what other people think, thinking about what the outcomes could be. And what happens is when we begin to lean on our own understanding, we run. How many of you have run away from something, not because it was the right thing to do, but because it scared you? Because you felt like maybe it was something that you wouldn't be successful at. Maybe it was something that, you disqualified yourself. Do you know how many people disqualify themselves from things? How many of you have ever prayed for something and then something comes along that doesn't look like the way that you anticipated it to look? And so you block your own blessing. And I used to be that person that if something would come to me that wasn't in alignment to what I felt like I wanted to do, then I would, boom, I would block my blessing. I would cut myself, or I would actually dismiss myself before even allowing myself to go into something. And I tell you this, guys, one of the things that I realized, accountability was so important. This is why we need coaches. This is why we need mentors. This is why we need, accountability partners. Who is your accountability partner in this season? Who are you listening to on a regular basis? Do they have the results that you desire? It's very, very important, because your environment, your network is going to dictate the decisions that you make. The people that you hang around are going to decide how far you can go. If you are somebody that is used to hanging around people that, they for example, they're in a fixed routine. They go to work, they go home, they make dinner, they deal with the kids, they go back home, they go to work. And if you even mention, hey, there's an event with entrepreneurs, maybe we should go listen. Oh no, Saturday's football, or I'm tired. You don't even want, there's some people that are so fixed in their broken routine that even if you wanted to, you couldn't change it, because they have no desire to do anything different. Have you ever met somebody that is just consistently in the same routine, unhappily, but they're not willing to change? And so that used to be me. I used to be that person that for love nor money, for life or nothing, I would not change for no one. And it took me to hit rock bottom for me to understand that, Nikki, you've got to stop listening to yourself. Who are you going to empower to guide you in the right way that's going to enable you to break free out of this comfort zone? Because the comfort zone is keeping you broke. And I don't mean broke in pocket. I mean broke in mindset, broken attitude, broken ambition, broken network, broken environments. Like, I was just broke. When I say broke, guys, I didn't have no money. I didn't have the right friends. My friends, the most conversation we would talk about is whose baby father left who, and who was cheating on who, and where we were going on the weekend, and what cocktail we were going to drink. I mean, when I think about it now, the conversations that we used to have were so pointless, to the point where there was no substance to those conversations. Have you ever been in a conversation for like 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes and you think, what the hell were we just talking about? Like, what was the point of that entire conversation? That was me. I'm just being honest. Am I allowed to be honest on here? Like, I was in pointless conversation. I used to have pointless, we used to go around and go to birthday parties, drinking, smoking. I mean, it was just pointless. And there was no accountability, because guess what? Everyone was doing the same thing. In fact, the moment I said one day I wasn't coming, I was alienated, and they called me out and they cussed me out and they told me, where are you and why are you not here? I said, what am I missing? You guys would think that I'm missing some gold down there. You want me to come sit down in your house? And we weren't going nowhere. We're sitting in a friend's house with their music on. I'm driving out of my house, leaving my kids to come to your house, to sit down in your house, drink, smoke, and talk about everybody else's business. You might catch us watching EastEnders on the television because EastEnders is on, and then, Coronation Street. And we're just going round and round. And nobody has a problem with it because everybody's thinking exactly the same way. And so the moment you begin to get uncomfortable in the mess and uncomfortable in the broken situation, like at one point you have to say, is this where I really want to be? Is this where I really want to be? Now, you see, the toughest part is when your comfort zone is good. Let me tell you the flip. right? Because I've been in a state of poorness, guys, where, you know, I'd use my credit card just to get a bottle of champagne so I could fit in with the crew, right? Dumb stuff like that. Things that were so stupid. Like, I'm using my credit card to get into a club. I'm using my credit card to buy an outfit because I don't want to be seen on the social media wearing the same thing that I wore the last time. So I'm now doing foolish things like using my credit card to spend rather than invest. I'm not investing in my personal development. I don't have a coach. I don't have a mentor. I'm not surrounded by a community. I'm going to work, coming home, getting changed, bathing my skin, going into the same broken cycle with the same broken circle, with the same broken people. And there's nothing changing. And everyone is happy. Like, everyone is celebrating in this time. In fact, normally when you have about 7 to 10, you know, girls that hang around each other all the time, pretty much every month is someone's birthday. So now you're going to a restaurant on top of it. You know how much credit card restaurant money was going on my... Listen, guys, I'm gonna just keep it real with you. Listen, you could see me with the Louis bag credit card. You see me with this, you see me with all this stuff, looking like hot gal. Yeah, I'm on there looking all good. And nobody don't know that I'm just racking up the debts. And we're not talking nothing with sense. No production. No one's talking about opening a business. No one's talking about how we're going to make moves. In fact, the holidays that we're talking about is all about stunting on the gram. All about, you know, nothing of any kind of substance. And at some point, I started to get uncomfortable with it. But you know what happened? I carried on going for another 2 years. Because now I'm uncomfortable with it, but I'm not bold enough to break away, because now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be alone and I got to create a new circle, and you know, people are going to isolate me. And so I stopped going to one of the parties, and then I started getting calls and harassments, and they started to, you know, be nasty to me and say, you know, I'm not coming around because I think I'm this and then I started to break away slowly. But it took me 2 years. Can I be honest? It took me 2 years to completely break away, where I said to myself, come on, girl, there's levels to this thing. You got to shake up, because if you carry on like this, you're going to keep going in the same cycle over and over and over and over again. And you know, the issue was, I came home, my partner was the same, because he was just going to the nightclubs. We were just doing the same thing. So now it's like my household is the same. My friendship circle's the same. I'm in a corporate job. I haven't got time to, you know, do anything other than my corporate job at work. But outside of work, I had no direction. No direction, and for years, comfortable in it. Have you ever been comfortable in things that you know ain't right? Like, comfortable in non-progression. Like, you know, some people are non-progressive. And I don't mean to be harsh, but we just got to be honest here. There are some people that are non-progressive. Non-progressive in the way that when they see progression, they feel uncomfortable because they don't recognize it, because all they've been used to is the same broken strategies that they have been doing most of their life. And so when you want to introduce a concept to them, like pouring into their mindset, or a concept about building your personal brand, or a concept, you know, we used to be the girls, can I get deeper? We used to be the girls that used to say trashy stuff on Facebook, because we're going back Facebook days. Instagram weren't really out then, right? So when you used to have a dispute, you'd be so immature, you'd go on your Facebook and you would talk about it. And you would create like a whole wave on Facebook. I used to go on there and say, what some got together? And we used to talk so trashy. I mean, it was so like, when I look back, you know, when Facebook give you the 1 year memories of what happened last year. And as I started to progress in personal development, I was like, okay, that needs to be deleted. That needs to be deleted. Oh no, that's not me anymore. Now, let me tell you this, if you're not doing that on your page at some point, it means you're not growing, right? And so I'm looking at some of my old posts and I'm like, ooh, child, girl, is that what to say? Is that what you used to do? And then I used to look at the people people that were liking those posts. And now those same people are doing the same things in the same area with the same set of friends, having the same problems. If you compare your post to 20 years ago to now, and you're still posting the same things, there's something wrong. And you got to invest in your personal self-development. So Nehemiah is here. Nehemiah says, now here's the flip to this, guys, because it's easy to spot when you're broke. It's easy to spot when things are not going good. So when things are going bad, it's so easy to say, okay, I was in a broken state. I was in my comfort zone. It was easy. These are the people that I grew up with. You know, you inherit your friends. Maybe there were people you worked with. Maybe there were people that your cousins and them. Maybe there were people that your parents introduced you. So you inherited these people in your life. And so it's out of habit that you're hanging around these set of people. So that maybe you could say, okay, that's not my fault, so I had to break away. But then you go the flip side now, when you actually are doing well. Do you know you can have money and still be in a comfort zone? You don't have to be broke to be in a comfort zone, like broke in finance. You can actually have money. You can, listen, guys, I remember when I first started making 6 figures, I got so comfortable. I put on weight. Why? Because I can afford to eat in every restaurant. I can afford to fly first class. I can afford to do what I like when I like. So guess what happens now? No one can chat to me. No, so now it's the other side. Now it's like, yeah, man's making her money. I'm making my peas. No one can't talk to me. And let me tell you what happens. You see, when you get like that, God will humble you. He will humble you quickly, because money does not fill the void of loneliness. Let me teach you something, right? Money don't fill the void of loneliness. You can have all the money in the world, but if you're not surrounded by the right set of people, let me tell you this, if what they say is you are the average of the 5 people that you hang around. You are the average of the 5 people that you hang around. So if you look around at your circle right now and all 5 of you are, the other 5 people are broke, guess what? You are the 6th one. If you look around and you see the other 5, they're not really talking growth, they're not really talking, you are that one, because you are a reflection of the people that you hang around. If you are comfortable around those people, you've got to make a decision. Who is it that you're going to be listening to in this season? The people that have not what you want, or the people that have what it is that you desire? You're going to keep listening to yourself. I had to say to myself, Nikki, it's time to stop listening to yourself. It's time to start listening to people that have the results. And I don't just mean listening in one area. I mean holistic listening. Because a lot of people, especially believers, there's parts of the word they believe in, and there's parts of the word they don't believe. They want to pick and choose the bits and pieces that suit them. No, you have to be able to holistically listen and say, okay, this is out of my comfort zone. I am going to change. Because let me tell you this, guys, there's something called the coachability versus teachability index, right? Now, what it says is, are you willing to learn, and are you willing to change? So when people say, are you coachable and teachable? This is one of the things I ask people before I mentor them. Are you coachable and teachable? Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to rate yourself, right? Coachable and teachable. What does coachable and teachable means? Coachable and teachable. The first half of coachable and teachable is, am I willing to learn? So out of 10, how much would you rate yourself on willing to learn? So willing to learn will be showing up to calls like this. You're here, you're willing, you're taking your notes. Willing to learn will be putting yourself in events. Willing to learn will be, listening to the audio books. How many of you have written out your goals? I've told you so many times, I'm so happy and grateful now. And you have your goal at the back of your front, on the back of your feet. So you're willing, right? How many of you are willing? Okay. So when you're willing to learn, let me tell you this, that means you don't miss a call. That means that you are constantly seeking knowledge. Guys, I spend a lot of hours, if not 1 hour a day, studying my mentor. I'm watching Instagram posts. I'm watching his YouTube videos. When I'm driving my car, I'm listening to everything. I'm making sure that I'm learning from him all the time. I'm checking his stories. I'm on his posts. I'm in his group chat, reading all his messages. I'm looking at when you're willing to learn, you are grabbing information constantly. That means you don't miss nothing. That means that you're focused on learning. Guys, let me show you this. Let me show you. This is how many books I have when it comes to my mentor. 1, 2, three, right? One is business, one is personal stuff, and the other one is strategy on phone calls. Then I've got learning on here where my mentor tells me what to do. Like, how many of you are really willing to learn? I see some of you put in a 9 and a 10. I just tell you the truth. You ain't 9 or 10. You ain't 9 or 10. You gotta have an honest conversation with yourself. You're not 9 or 10. I don't even give myself a 9 or 10, right? And I don't miss my mentor school. Listen, there's times I'm up learning 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 a.m. in the morning, right? Willing to learn. You see, you ask yourself, am I really willing to learn? Because if you really want this success thing, am I willing to learn? Not from myself, from someone who has the results that I desire. Big difference. Am I willing to learn? Then you have willing to change. This is a whole new cycle now. You want to rate yourself from willing to change. So willing to learn is you taking in the information, you being in the right places. Willing to change is now you implementing the learning. So your mentor says to you, this is what you need to do. Your mentor showing you what you need to do. Your mentor's giving you the blueprints to what you need to do. Are you willing to change? Because that's where a lot of people fall short, because we don't want to change. We want to stay in our comfort zone. We want to stay in doing what we want to do. But here's the proof. Here's the facts of the reality is this. You cannot expect a change in outcome if you are not willing to change the behavior, right? This is key. You must not be, don't expect, you'll be insane. Right? That's the definition of insanity. You will be absolutely insane if you expected £1 million to show up in your account tomorrow and you have done nothing to get that million. You'd be absolutely crazy. You'd be insane. I know we talk belief, but you'd be taking belief to a whole new level, right? You'd be insane. You'd be insane to think you're going to lose 10 stone, but keep eating burgers and all of the things that are fatty. You'd be insane to think that. So you can't expect the outcomes, the goals of your heart, the things that you say that you want, if you are not willing to learn and willing to change. Now, you could have the willingness to learn as a 10, but then your willingness to change is a 0. 10 times 0 is 0. And guess what? You would fail on the teachability index. So here's how I had to talk to myself. I had to say, Nikki, look, your bank account's broke. Your friendship circle's broke. I can barely afford certain things right now. I'm in a place where my mindset is broke. I don't even feel positive about myself. I'm not even at the weight that I want. Like, I don't even look the way I want to look. I don't speak the way I want to speak. I heard myself swearing one time on a video. We was out in a nightclub and somebody had, done a video of us in a nightclub, and I heard myself and I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds vile. Have you ever heard yourself speaking and think, oh my God, like, I didn't even know I sounded like that. And so now I'm like, listen, I need to change. I need to change the way I speak. I'm not even swearing. Those words are not even, I'm a queen, I'm royalty. I need to start speaking like one. I'm not even going to speak like that. I'm not going to behave like that. I'm going to get myself under mentorship that is going to help me to get to the next level. I'm not going to listen to myself anymore, because myself got me to where I am right now. I'm not going to listen to, it was my husband at the time, my ex. I'm not going to listen to him anymore because he can't help me. He don't have the results that I need. So guess what I need to do? God gave me a vision, and I'm going to take that vision and I'm going to look for somebody who has the results that I want, and then I'm going to implement. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I was already on paper successful. On paper successful. This is after the £1 million property portfolio, after head office, top banker, I was making probably like £4,000 a month. This is after all that. And I still had to humble myself and say, Nikki, you have to submit under mentorship. You cannot do this by yourself. Now you got to find a new set of people. Who are the people that you want to hang around? What do people like? I remember one time I was saying to, my old friends, and I was just like, yo, let's go on holiday. And they were like, yeah, cool. Should we go EasyJet? I said, easy who? Easy who? Who going where? When? How? On what half a plane? What are you talking about? Now, I'm not saying it because, no offense to those of you that have EasyJet on fleek, right? But I'm just saying, you are who you hang around. So if you're hanging around the EasyJetters, you know that you're going to have that type of lifestyle. And so guess what I did, guys? Just to people please. This is what I'm saying. My mindset's all different now. People please, we went via EasyJet. And guess what? EasyJet on the day, it had a delay. We ended up getting there the next day. I was like, this is what you pay. You get what you pay for in life. And we went there. I'm going to tell you a quick story. Never go on holiday with black pocket friends. I'm going to just keep it 100% real, right? We have so many cute girls on Instagram. This is a sideline, but there's so many cute girls on Instagram that have no money for bread. Be careful who you hating on and jealousing over. These girls on Instagram are fronters, and you're there busy comparing yourself to these people that don't have bread. I went away with one of my friends, absolutely love her. She's a good friend of mine. And she was like, oh, one of my friends, she's never been on holiday before. Can she come? I was like, yeah, cool, she can come. Looked at the girl's Instagram on fleek. Girl looked like she had money. I was like, cool, yeah, we like to roll with money girls. I was a banker, so, we had the money, whatever. And I'm looking at a girl on Instagram. First of all, I looked at her in real life. I was just like, yo, I know what the men feel like when they be looking after. And we didn't even have filters back then, right? We didn't have filters back then. But yeah, it was fake. That's what it was. It's a fraud. Some of them are scammers in real life. So now we're on holiday. We landed from the EasyJet situation, and we're going. I don't know if you guys know how Greece is. If you've ever been to Greece, we went to Greece, and they have siesta in the middle of the day. It's so hot, they don't open their shops. They close their shops in the middle of the day. You have morning till afternoon, and then they open again in the evening till late, right? Because it's so hot there, you can't even walk down the street. So they close the shops in the middle of the day. So we're now, as tourists there. Where we live is like where we were staying in the hotel to where like the main shops were. It was like it'll probably be like a half an hour walk, but 2-3 minutes in a taxi, right? So we're there now, and I'm like, bruv, it's siesta. Even the shops are shut. Like, I am not walking half an hour. Like, I know I'm bougie now, but I was hella bougie back then. I was like, there's no way I'm walking in this weltering hot heat. We are taking a taxi. It's 2-3 minutes down the road. They're like, oh yeah, but it's going to cost X amount of euros, whatever. I'm like, so we'll pay it. Like, who cares? And we had this whole fight about why we should walk. I said, I am not walking in this heat to save 12 euros or whatever it was. And I'm like, am I really sitting here squibbling over this girl who looks like she's making $1 million on Instagram, and she's squibbling over whether we should pay 12 euros to have a taxi? I said, look, fine, I'll pay. I'm happy to pay. Like, let's just get the taxi. We all end up in the taxi. We ended up going to the thing. When we get there now guys, you can't even make this up. We get there and we're going shopping, and you know me, I like to shop. I like to buy what I like to buy. And I'm seeing like hesitations in the back. Why have we got hesitations? What's going on? She's like, oh, I'm just waiting for my benefits to come through on Thursday, then I'll come back. I'm like, hell no, did this chick just come on holiday? I'm looking at my friend like, how are you gonna bring the girl who's saying she's waiting on her benefits to come before? Listen, let me tell you this. If you're waiting for your benefits to come, you shouldn't be here on holiday. Like, you should not be on holiday. You need to be getting yourself a business plan. You need to get yourself some kind of situation. You don't sit there telling me you're waiting for your benefits to come before you can do what you need to do, and you're here on holiday and all of this business. I was just like, listen, you guys ain't gonna flop my show. And so I spent that holiday by myself because she was obligated to her friend and she had to do what she wanted to do. I was like, I'm not taking the budget route out here. I came to enjoy myself. We're here for 7 days or 8 days. I'm gonna enjoy myself. I've enjoyed myself. I met some good friends. I've always been quite a good networker. I met some good people out there that I still talk to now. And, I started to hang around with them. God bless me, I was covered and nothing had happened. But we started to hang out. We went different places. And I had to upgrade my circle, even on holiday when I went with other people. And this is what I'm saying to you about knowing who you're hanging around. Like, I'm not saying, it's bad that the girl was on benefits, but what I'm saying is you have two options. You can go lower to accommodate them, or you can, you bring them up to your standard. And so what we see a lot of is people going down to make other people happy. So you reduce yourself down because you feel bad. That, listen, stop apologizing for your success. Stop apologizing for what you've been able to achieve. I used to have a friend that I could never tell her when I was successful. I could never tell her that I'd accomplished something good because there would never be any celebration. It would be pure hate. It would be like, oh, why didn't that happen for me? And why is this not happening for me? And we'd have a whole conversation about why that hadn't happened for her, instead of actually, let's celebrate me today. Like, can we not celebrate? You want to be careful if you're hanging around people that can't celebrate you and can't encourage you and cannot put you in a position where you feel like, okay, cool, what's the next level that we're going to go to? And so what are we talking about here? We're talking about focusing and flying with your environment, the people that you're hanging around. How many times are you going to keep reducing who you are, taking a step back, saying that you can't execute because of the environment that you hang around? Now, if you don't have the financial backative to do what it is that you're doing now, more so than ever, you need to hang around people that have what it is that you want. You don't want to hang around people that are in the same position as you, saying they're waiting for the benefits now. You don't want to be hanging around with people that don't have the level of success that you want. You've got to open your mouth now and say, do you know what? I'm looking at my circle. Now, let me tell you this. There was an ego behind the people that I used to hang around. Can I be honest? There was an ego because I was the one that was making the most money. There's a way that you can have and everybody has an ego. Let's not pretend. We all have an ego to some level, right? But I realized I enjoyed being the one that paid. Like, yeah, I got this money. Like, yeah. There was an ego about me not having lack. There was an ego about me being the one that could teach. There was an ego about me being the smartest in the room, the one that had the most money, the one that was the businesswoman. There was an ego about it. And I had to drop my ego and say, Nikki, if you keep being the smartest person in your circle, you don't grow. I've got to have a humility now to go into a circle where I'm the lowest income earner. A humility where I go into a circle where I don't have the most property. The ego where I go into a circle where I humble myself now, and I say, okay, now I put myself in this. Now this is uncomfortable. Guys, right now I'm in a group chat. Yo, I can't even tell you. I'm the lowest earner. You have to earn minimum 25,000 to be in this group chat a month. And I'm the lowest income earner. Lowest. I'm the lowest income earner. The standard of that chat is high. Not any and anyone can get into that group chat. And because not any and anyone can get in, I'd rather be the lowest of the best than the highest of the worst. I don't know if anyone understands what I'm saying, but now it's time to elevate yourself into different rooms, different conversations, listen, when you hang around with the type of people that I've managed to get into a circle alongside in the conversation, you ain't hearing no one say we're not making a decision because we're waiting for the benefits. We're not hearing people that start negotiating on cost and price and saying, oh, I'm not sure I want to do it. No, you do want to do it, but you're not sure you have the finances for it. We don't have those types of conversations in these levels. We don't have the conversations that, certain circles have. And so it makes me uncomfortable now when I start to entertain certain conversations. I don't entertain those conversations. So now I now put myself in a different zone now. I'm completely uncomfortable. I'm a fish outside water. And so now if I even me, I like to talk, I'm chatting in the group, because one of the things I realize, and I teach this, never go anywhere and not show up. So although I'm probably one of the lowest income earners, I'm one of the most vocal. No one ain't gonna forget me. When I landed, we had a whole get together. And when I landed in Las Vegas, there were people that knew me who I didn't know because they recognized me from the group. And they're like, hey, what's up? Right? And so where you lack in one area, you make up for another area. No one will forget me. No one will act like I'm not there. No one will not know who I am because I don't play the shy game. Shy people don't get paid, right? And I just want to make it absolutely clear for you. If you want something, you got to go get it. Today, I messaged my mentor about 24 times without response. And I kept messaging him. I was like, hey, man, I'm not laying out because I know I want. You have what I want. And so I'm going to keep messaging you. because I understand that you don't need nothing from me, but I need something from you. And so there's no shame in my game. You're going to remember me, whether you like it or not. You are going to remember me. I fight to get in the rooms that I have in. So when you see my success, and when you see me growing, and when you see me making money, and when you see me getting married, and when you see me having kids, and when you see me in positions, multi-million-dollar property portfolios, and you see me getting the blessings of God, this is not an accident. It's not a coincidence. This is something that I worked for. This is something that I positioned myself for. This is something that I fought for, right? I honor this, so I fight for it. I'm not going to roll over. I'm not going to get a little bit of access and then run away when it doesn't suit me. Guys, one time I typed something in the chat and I got blasted because it was a low-level comment. And people that have that level, they don't tolerate low-level comments in their groups. See, the groups that you hang around, there's certain conversations you can have, but I tell you now, 80% of people wouldn't last a day in the group chat that I'm in, because there's certain words that are just not tolerated. There's certain level of mindset. People don't want to hear excuses. They don't want to hear about the kids. They don't want to hear that you got this, your car broke down. They don't want to hear about the excuses. It's we're getting it done or you haven't got it done. And now this may be a sharp and quite a harsh message, but I want you to know that the higher the level, the lower the tolerance for your excuses. The higher the level, the low. You want to get in rooms, but you want to listen. We're going to wrap up this call because we'll start talking about Nehemiah and now we're going somewhere else. But I tell you, the Holy Spirit has to move. And so you want the results, but you don't want to change. You don't want to build the muscle to what the results require. And so when Focus and Fly comes along, here's what happens, guys. You jumped in January because you saw the light, you saw the advert, you saw the, you saw it. You're like, yeah, new year, let's go. It sounds exciting. Yeah, new year, new year, new year. But you didn't think it was going to be work. You didn't think it was going to be as hard as it is. You didn't think that it was going to be as tiring as it was. You didn't think it was going to be as uncomfortable as it was. And now you're ready to quit. Now you're ready to roll over. Now you're ready to throw in the towel. Or what you do, you start negotiating. Okay, I'll do it next month. Okay, no, I'll do a little bit. I'll start a little bit. Now you start deducing the goal because you've lost belief. You didn't lose belief. Let me tell you this. Don't mistake your uncomfortableness. This is your muscle growing to the new level with the fact that it's not something you need to do. So we mistake it. Oh no, maybe this is not for me. Oh no, this feels weird. Oh no, this doesn't feel right. Oh no, this isn't. No. You're mistaking it because you've never been at this level before. You're mistaking it because you've never stretched this muscle before. So it will feel uncomfortable. It does feel uncomfortable when you're around successful people. It does feel uncomfortable when you get into different rooms, bigger rooms. It will feel uncomfortable, but can you stick it out? Can you keep fighting? Do you know that there's so many people that close the door on their own success because they just don't understand that the muscle needs to be stretched? Don't allow the doubts. Don't allow the fact that you're not used to the muscle. Nikki, I'm not used to this. Of course you haven't. That's why your bank account looks like that. You're used to the level of where you're at. So when somebody stretches you, when someone, just like in the netball game today, I'm used to shooting. I love it when I shoot and it goes in. It gives me so much self-gratification. It makes me feel so good. Like it makes me feel like I'm doing good for the team. You won't put me in wing attack. Like, what am I doing in wing attack? I'm not even going to circle. What am I doing in goalkeeper? What? Goalkeeper? Me? Defense? I'm not used to it. It's not my comfort zone. But guess what? I got to trust my coach and I got to be a team player. I got to understand that the goal is not just about me. It's about all the people that are waiting for me to succeed. The goal is not just about you. It's about your children, your family, the people that are waiting for you to succeed. So you have to sometimes come out of your comfort zone. Trust your coach. Trust your mentor. Trust the process, because the uncomfortable feeling that you're feeling is not because it's not working. It's because you're stretching. It's because you're growing. It's because you're entering into a season that you've never been entered into before. But if you block your blessing, so many people are at the edge of their breakthrough and they block their blessing just because they don't recognize the muscle that's stretching on the inside of them. Can you stay focused in a time where your mind wants to trick you? Can you stay focused in a season where you should be flying? I believe that in this season, the month of February, there's going to be some focused people that fly bigger than they've ever flown before, if they decide to put the work in, if they decide to avoid the negativity and the thoughts that go in their mind, if they stick to the consistent regime. You know, one time, I'll tell you this, guys, one time I had this young man, and an absolutely beautiful young man, is so talented, and he came into, you know, one of our affiliate programs, and he made a couple thousand in 3 days. 3 days. We did an event, and, you know, a few people signed up, and he made a couple of thousand in 3 days. Then after 9 or 10 days, he hadn't made any more money. You know, he'd been attempting, but nobody else has signed up. So in a couple of days, he made a couple of grand, but then in total 2 weeks, he still only made that couple of grand. He calls me up and he says, Nikki, I don't think this is working. I think I'm going to quit. It's not working for me. I said, what's not working for you? I said, how much you making your job? Okay, I make X amount. I was like, cool. How much did you make in 3 days? I made this. So you made more in 3 days than you do in your job, but because what? You're impatient, because you don't want to, you don't want to stretch your muscle. You want an overnight. We live in a microwave society where, you know, in 3 days, you're expecting what? To be a millionaire? In 3 days, what was you expecting? You didn't want to put in the work. You see, one of the things that we have now is this microwave society where we don't want to put in the work. We just want it overnight. But yet we will work at a job for 30 days and get paid on that 1 day a month and be cool with it. We work for free for 30 days. So we're patient when it comes to the pay. But when it comes to building up our own business, building our brand, we're going to give our brand 6 days. We're going to give our brand 9 days. We're going to give our brand 2 weeks. And now because it's an uncomfortable feeling, because you've never done it before, you call yourself a failure. But in actual fact, you've had better success than most people have when they start a traditional business in their first 2 years. And so perspective, I want you to write this word down on your piece of paper. Perspective. How much time are you willing to give to yourself? How much time are you willing to put into building your brand, to building yourself? I know you do 9 to 5 for the workplace. I know you're doing for them, but how much time are you going to put into your brand? What are you going to do for yourself? What are you willing to learn? And what are you willing to change? Because you cannot have new results with old work ethic and old habits. It's not possible. You're going to get the same work ethic. You're going to get the same results. The same habits are going to give you the same results. So if you want different results, guess what we got to do? Different habits. There's a book for that, guys. It's called Atomic Habits. I'm going to drop the nugget for you right now. Atomic Habits. That book changed my life. Go and read it. Atomic Habits. It's going to teach you how to break some of them bad habits, but also how to mold and give yourself some good habits so that you can really become the best version of yourself. When Nehemiah was in a good position, you see, they say good is the enemy of great, right? Because you say, but Nikki, I'm good. Nikki, I'm good. Okay, so the good is holding you back from being great. Your job pays you a certain amount for you to forget your goals and dreams. Oh, but Nikki, I'm good. If you're good, what does that mean? That means you have no goals. That means we're not going anywhere else. We're not focusing on anything else. Do you know that your children are looking at you? Your grandchildren, your godchildren, your nieces, your nephews, your cousins, they are watching you, and you have a responsibility, right? To make sure that you are being that role model that needs to be seen in our society right now, more than ever before. And I also believe that when Nehemiah had the vision to leave his comfort zone to go and rebuild this wall that seemed impossible, there was one thing that the word says that he did, and he said that he prayed and then he moved. He fasted and prayed and then he moved. And then what he did was, it was beautiful, because God aligned him. God aligned him with the people that were going to help him build. Now, who do you need to be around that's going to help you build? Build your brand, build your credibility, build your business, build your children's inheritance? Who are you going to be around that's going to help you to do that? Because our comfort zone is definitely our broke zone. It's okay. You know, one of the things I had to reflect on is, if I was going to stay in that comfort zone, would I be happy with the results that I was receiving? Was I happy at my job? Was I happy with the people I was hanging around? Was I happy with the feeling, that lack of fulfillment, the low self-esteem, the insecurity, the doubt, the worry, the stress? I wasn't. So I needed to be around people that were confident. I needed to be around people that were bold, people that could make decisions. You know, one of the worst things, and I had to say this to somebody, you know, I think it was last night, a lady in Chicago, bless her, I was speaking to her and I said to her, she said, Nikki, I really want to, you know, I really want to start my business, but I don't have the money. And I said, the reason why you don't have the money, because you keep saying you don't have the money, because words are powerful. And so each time you say you don't have the money, you won't have the money. But if you say you do have the money will show up. We make sacrifices and we make decisions based on the things that we want to do. But sometimes, here's what my coach said to me, and I'll wrap up with this, guys. You know, my vision to expand my property portfolio was huge. It really was. And I asked my coach, after I purchased this property, I saw another one and I said to my coach, do you think this is a good idea? I've seen this property, I want to buy it. And my coach said no. And I said, care to elaborate, or are we just gonna keep it at no? So it's not the right time. It's not the right time. House prices are about to fall and there's a recession and a lot of people won't be able to afford their rent. So it's better you get into Airbnb. And at the time I was bummed because I was ready to put the offer in. But I listen. One thing with me, I'm very coachable. I listen. And I said, okay, so maybe I should expand my coaching business. Should I invest in some systems? Should I put some money into that? So no. Save. And I went, but I've got the money, I want to do something. And, you know, as much as I, you know, teach, I also have to be vulnerable to you guys and say that I had to learn that not every money I need to spend and get rid of quickly. It's almost like I was allergic to money. As soon as it come in, I'm like, okay, what's the next move? I'm like a junkie. What's the next move? He's like, you can just sit on it, Nick. Why are you edging to just get rid of it so quick? Like, just sit on it. When the right time comes, the right time will come. Every time money come in, before it comes into the account, I've already written out a list of all the things that's going to go out. And I had to change that broke mindset. And instead, okay, let's dissect this. There's a bit of financial literacy now. The money that I get coming in, how much of that is going into my personal development? Last year alone, I spent over £40,000 on personal self-development. I'm growing. If you look at my mindset call on YouTube and I'm saying the same thing now, block me. Because you don't want to follow anyone that's saying the same, you know, that's not growing. The principles will be the same, but there has to be an element of growth. I can't pour into people if I don't pour into myself first. And, you know, if you're somebody that is pouring into others, you want to ask yourself, what's your personal self-development plan? What are you doing to grow every single day? What are you listening to? Who are you listening to? I don't just mean a YouTube video here or there. I mean a personal development plan. What's the plan? Right? Because if you don't have a plan for your growth, then what are you expecting to see on the back of that? You ought to have a personal development plan. That's the first thing. What's my personal development plan? Number two is, who's my personal development coach? Who's going to help me to develop, right? Very important who you're following. Who are you listening to? The third thing as well is, am I willing to learn and am I willing to change? Because you can have the goal at heart, you can have the aspiration, But if you're not willing to learn and you're not willing to change, I don't know for you, there's not much any coach in the world will be able to do for you. And the fourth and final one that I would say is accountability. Who's going to hold me accountable when I start playing up, when I start wanting to quit, when I start not being consistent? Who's going to hold me accountable? What's my accountability regime? You know, I would ruin our relationship to hold you accountable. My job is not to be your friend. My job is to tell you the truth. My job is to make sure that you're going to get that goal achieved, which is what you said you want to achieve. I'm not here to be a friend. If we're friends on the other side, then great. But that's not my number one goal. My number one goal is I will risk our friendship if it means telling you the truth to get you to the breakthrough. Who is invested in you winning? Who's invested in you winning? Who's going to? So now you've written out the goal. Jump in January was all about writing out the goal. What is it that you want? If you're a mentor personally by me, you would have sent me what it is that you want. You're telling me what it is that you want. Okay, Nikki, I want to make 15,000 a month. Nikki, I want to be able to travel the way that I want. Nikki, I want to be able to leave my job. Nikki, I want to be able to do this. You've said what you want. We started to build the blocks. And now Focus and Fly is saying, keep doing what you've been doing. Focus and Fly is saying, keep implementing what you need to implement. It's not saying that now you're going to have distractions and now you're going to fold. Because in the time of stress, in the time of distractions, there's a choice. Do I fight or do I fold? And I'm going to tell you the truth, guys. That's the reason why a lot of people do not become entrepreneurs, because they're weak. It's easy to be an employee. Someone tells you what to do, you do it. Someone's always telling you what time to come in, you do it. But when you're an entrepreneur, when you're fighting for your own self, when you're now in control of your own regime, you have to have the discipline. This is another muscle that you've got to build. The discipline to be able to do what needs to be done. But then what helps is having the right accountability group, the right people. Do you know that it will cost you thousands to be in a community of successful people, just to be in a group? Just to be in a group with a similar mindset. And so you want to find yourself around a group of people that have a similar mindset as you. So when your cousin and them and the broke circle that you're getting yourself away from slowly begin to talk, you've got accountability that can keep you going on a day-to-day basis. How many of you are feeling this right now? I know this is not the normal message, right? You guys thought I was going to come on here jumping on from the rooftops and swinging from the chandelier. This is Focus and Fly. So you're going to make some decisions about what you're going to be focusing on in this season. You're going to be focusing on negativity. You're going to be focused on the words that you speak. You're going to be focused on doing what needs to be done, or you're going to be focusing on what's not going to get you the results. Because right now, I tell you this, guys, if you want to elevate, you got to separate. This is where you forget the past. Stop talking about what I used to do. Stop talking about who I used to be with. Stop talking about what I used to eat and how it used to be. How it used to be is not going to get you where you want to be. So now we got to start speaking what it is that we are seeking. I'm going to leave you with this. When Nehemiah started building that wall, there were so many distractions that came to him. And there's one line that I absolutely love. And Nehemiah said, not right now, I'm building. But Nehemiah, they're coming to destroy the wall. Not right now, I'm building. But Nehemiah, the haters are over there. Not right now, I'm building. But Nehemiah, if we don't do this, not right now, I'm building. Be careful of those that just want to report the negative news. Be careful of those that are only around in destruction. Be careful of those that just want to come and just change your energy and bring you down. Be careful of those that all they can talk about is the holes, the problems. Nehemiah, they're going to tear the wall down. All our hard work is going to go. We won't be able to finish the wall. Not right now. I'm building. I don't want to hear that. Don't tell me we can't do it. Don't tell me it's not possible. Not right now, I'm building. Some of you got to remember that line. Not right now, I'm building. Not right now, I'm building. And now in this season, decide what it is that you're building your brand, building your bank account, building your hang around with the right people, guys. I see it all the time. Even inside, you know that there's still a 95% in the 5%. So let me give you an example. You can be in a group, like some of you are in, the mentorship group, and you can be in a mentorship group, but there's still broke mindsets in the mentorship group they're still having to overcome. And now if you're not careful, you think because we're all in the mentorship group together, you think this is the person I'm going to listen to, but then you realize that. And now instead of listening to your coach and instead of listening to the mentor and instead of listening to the strategies, you've now been distracted because you're around the wrong people. And the last question I'm going to ask you is this. You got to ask yourself why you allow and attract these same set of people in your life. Because it's very easy to blame everybody else. It's very easy to say it's their fault, it's their fault, it's their fault. But what about you keeps attracting these people? There's some people that just are not attracted to me because the blessings of God is just on my life. And so there's certain people. Then now, let me not get it twisted. They're going to say a lot about me. They're going to talk a lot about me, but there's just some things they can't say about me. And so you got to be very good. You got to ask yourself, why you attract those type of people? What is it that is making them people think that they can come to you? What is it that you making them think that you should be around those people? Maybe we've got to do some self-reflection. Why is it that I was attracting those people? Because I was those people. So the moment I stopped being those people, I began to attract those type of people. Do you see Beyonce hanging around any and anyone? Do you see Oprah hanging around any and anyone? Most celebrities hang around other celebrities. Like-minded people. And so we gotta face the truth sometimes. Stop blaming the people. Sometimes we are the people. Sometimes we are the people. So now we gotta elevate. And sometimes you have to separate to elevate. And so guys, I want to give you some homework today. It is Focus and Fly. Those of you that are part of my personal mentorship, you know that we have the boot camp starting tomorrow. Right? Boot camp starts tomorrow. I'm excited about that. Who's excited about that? This is members only. Membership does have its privileges, but the boot camp, Focus and Fly boot camp starts tomorrow. This is where we're going to be looking at our branding. This is where we're going to be looking at our social media. This is where we're going to be looking at how we speak. This is how we're going to be looking at all the things that we want to improve in the month of February. Those of you that want to improve your money, we're going to be looking at your money as well. But most importantly, it's the desires of your heart. It's your branding. It's how you speak to yourself, how you speak to others, how you allow others to speak unto you. This Focus and Fly season, I'm going to stick it on you guys. Jump in January was play. Focus and Fly. I'm going to keep you focused in this season. We'll make sure we map out these goals to a level. Map out these goals. In fact, if I mentor you personally, I want you to send me a message and tell me what you want out of Focus and Fly. What do you want out of this season? If I don't mentor you personally, mentor your coach, message your coach or your mentor and tell them what you want out of this Focus and Fly season. If you don't ask, you won't get. But this month of February, you have the opportunity to really focus and fly. You have the opportunity to make it happen. You have the opportunity to be anybody that you want to be. You get to create your brand. You get to create how you speak. You get to create who you hang around. And if you're not happy with who you're hanging around, that means you've got to create that person that is attractive to the people that you want to hang around. If you want to hang around 6-7-figure earners, and I'm just using that as an example, but I mean the mindset of a 6-figure earner, you want to hang around Elon Musk, you want to hang around Oprah. there's certain things that those types of people are attracted to. And there's certain things that they're not attractive to. And in our next session, we're going to talk about that negative self-talk. Because that's going to be, from Monday. And those of you that are inside the mentorship, this Focus and Fly season is technically for members only. But we will still open out, the Monday sessions. But the accountability will be inside that group only. That's going to be mentorship privileges in that session. But we're going to go serious with this, because part of this, I want to teach you your self-worth. Not everyone should have access to you for free. I'm going to teach you the blueprint on how to demand respect, how to ensure that you value yourself so that other people will also value. The reason why they take liberties with you, the reason why they steal from you, and the reason why they treat you the way they do is because of what you allow them to do. You treat me once, it's you're bad. You treat me twice, it's my bad. So we're gonna go focused on this, guys. No play in the month of February. So with that being said, guys, I hope that you have thoroughly taken notes. I hope that I've stepped on your corn toe on this call. I hope that you felt something, even if it's one thing that you've taken away today. I pray that you hear me in love, that you are blessed and highly favored, that there's a kingship in you that the world needs to see, that you are a child of a king, and therefore that you should live at the highest possible level possible for your life, that you are a representation of the power that God has for you, but you now have to execute it. You now have to be bold. You now have to surround yourself by the right people. You now have to decide whether you're going to fight or fold. You now have to decide how you're going to up the levels. You now have to decide whether you're going to put yourself in the right rooms, whether you're going to make the right phone calls, whether you're going to surround yourself, whether you're going to speak life over yourself, because you are bold, you are beautiful, you are a king, you are a queen, and all things, not some things, all things, right? Even more than you can even desire is coming for you in this season. There will be miracles happening in this season. I believe that there's going to be some testimonies in this season. But you now have to make that decision whether or not you believe it for you. I believe it for you, but you got to believe it for you. And the way that you're going to believe it is by surrounding yourself in the right environment. So good night. God bless you guys. Those of you social media, go ahead and do your boomerang. Tag me in. Let me know your, top takeaway. Those of you inside the community, write out your top takeaways inside the community. That's the only thing that I ask for, to let me know that you have been blessed on this call, that you have heard the words and you're ready to execute. I will be dropping the Focus and Fly flyer. Feel free to drop it in on your social medias. I'll drop that inside the community as well. We are going to Focus and Fly in the month of February, and it starts tomorrow. Okay, it starts tomorrow. So make sure that you are inside that group, in the mentorship group, to start that. All right. Well, I'm so excited for you all. Do your boomerangs, your screenshots. We're going to end this call right now. And God bless you. And I'm looking forward to hearing all of your testimonies, big and small, guys. There's no small testimony. Make sure you get in touch with me. And also as well, one thing, the scammers are out again on social media. I only have one Instagram. I am Nikki Sutherland. No underscores, no full stops, no ones or sevens or zeros or anything at the end. And I'll never message you for money. Okay. So please don't click any links. Don't do any crazy stuff. So just please be aware of that. My name is spelt correctly as well. None of that other stuff. And I look forward to seeing you guys very, very soon. So I'm gonna look out in the community. Don't be too lazy to give feedback. It really, really does help. And we're gonna make this thing happen. Focus and Fly, guys, in this season. And we are now focused on making sure that we're in the right environment around the right people. All right, let's go. Let's get it. Peace out. Take care.